Nike is doing a great job by actually doing what they did. The big thing is that they needed to do was change the narrative. You have to make it about what it is. It's about social injustice. It's about equality for Black people. And if you're against that, I don't see how you can be. It's something wrong in you if you don't want everyone to be treated equal. And
I'm completely in agreement with that. I think that where trepidation, any kind of hesitation in regards to this emanating from the Black community that I think needs to be brought up is that it's been hijacked. The issue has been hijacked. Trump, the president, has hijacked the issue. It was never about patriotism. Never. And sometimes I get upset, James, because I think that we all needed to do a better job of warding off his stealing the narrative. And we haven't done that. For some reason or another, we haven't pulled that off. And I think that the NFL players have contributed to that divide to some degree in this regard. You've got Malcolm Jenkins and the crew, obviously heart's in the right place, trying to do a lot of good things for the community, consulting with, negotiating with owners, talking to police officials, law enforcement officials, et cetera, generating about $89 million, even though that's pocket change to some of these owners, to be quite honest with you. But the thing about it is that his situation was different than Colin Kaepernick's situation, Eric Reed and all of these guys. And there did not appear to be a divide, a one front, one universal message as it pertained to all of this. And I think that has contributed to the president and others stealing the narrative and making it about something that it was never
Well, that was
about.
the media going behind and just projecting the same, BS, so to speak, and making it about the players versus the troops and being, disrespectful to the troops.
But was that the media or was that the president?
That's the media.
How was that the media?
Well, it's the media because they let the president said what he said, and they ran with it, of course. And the media kept going with the same thing. Right. Now, if you change it to what it is now, everyone sees what it is. It's social injustice awareness. Like, you can't be against it. How can you be against that?
Of course not. Nobody would be against it. But what I'm saying to you is that the media, quoting the president, continuously saying this to his base, what are you supposed to do, ignore it?
No. You could say that's what he's saying, but what it is,
which is what the media has done.
But what we did is we profited from it. That's you and I, everybody who talks about it. We talk about it not only because it's newsworthy. We talk about it because we believe people will be interested in it.
But they are interested in it.
And it will get more eyeballs for longer, and we make more money.
Yeah, but we didn't lie about it.
It's not that we lied about it. It's that in a way we commercialized it, much as Nike is commercializing it. And that's, people feel, taking away from some of the maybe authenticity of the protest, or in some way it's bad for Kaepernick. But in fact, I look at it very differently.
Okay.
The fact that Nike, who, as I mentioned yesterday, along with maybe Apple, the greatest marketing brand in the history of the known universe, looks at Kaepernick and says, we can make money with that. Well, that means that there are many millions of people, particularly their market, which is the youth market, which is the market that we and the NFL and everyone's after. And by the way, Nike's better at targeting than anybody. They're interested in Kaepernick and support him, because if that weren't the case, they wouldn't be commercializing this. So I think that, now, the question as to what should we expect in terms of the backlash for supporting Kaepernick? Well, there's not, it's not unanimous opinion about this. Obviously, there's a huge chunk of people who don't like it, who are going to be against it.
The NFL came out and supported it.
Just as there were when Muhammad Ali made his stand. But what you find is that when the tide turns, when people put their finger in the wind, they notice public opinion shifting.
Yes, and
suddenly those opponents become much less vocal.
And we got a lot of people who are getting paid, who have no reason to fear because they're set, that do wait until the wind blows before they really take a position, as opposed to do it instinctually when it's right to do so, number one. Number two, when you bring to the commercialism, and I'll go to you with this, James, you just brought up commercialism. Let me tell you what the biggest alarm is for me. Phil Knight clearly has commercialized it because he's going to profit off of this, all right? Donald Trump, when he caters to his base, he's definitely going to commercialize it. He's going to profit off this. So we have a black man that is talking about racial oppression, racial inequality, police brutality, and literally sacrificing and can't get a job in the NFL. And we have players who haven't been dogged in their mission to ensure that he gets a job, which means that we're not profiting, but we have two prominent white individuals who already are worth billions, allegedly, at least in one case, right? Worth billions, and they're going to profit off of it, but the black folks ain't.
Stephen A.
I don't know if anybody has brought that up, but I got a problem with that.
But do you think this could actually help Colin Kaepernick? Because now that mainstream Nike's behind him, that maybe more players will speak out?
I think it could potentially help him if the mission is along the lines of what you're talking about, keeping us focused on what the real objective was, but also piggybacking off of that to challenge NFL owners or whatever, even with this collusion case going on, challenging folks to say, excuse me, that man should have a job in the NFL.
Because I want to hear from you. I just want to get this out real quick. I brought up Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
Muhammad Ali was eventually embraced by the mainstream, right? All the documentaries now, we see what side of history that came down on. Muhammad Ali was wrong about a lot of the details. And as he got older, he felt differently about a lot of the details. But basically, the spirit of what he stood for was right. And he stood up for what he believed in. And that resonates with people. When you stand up for what you believe and you sacrifice for your beliefs, it is respected. And if your beliefs, whatever mistakes Kaepernick may or may not have made in terms of the nuances of stuff, when your beliefs are basically in the spirit of people being treated fairly, history will smile on you, and those who supported you will be on the right side of history, and those who stood against you will not.
Go ahead, James.
Yeah, like I said, I'm with him. It's nothing that once you break the narrative down and you have social injustice, there's no way anybody can be against that. And Nike, like you said, they're piggybacking. They're going to go ahead and make some money on it. Which anybody that's looking at a business sense, that's what they're going to do.